How's it going, everybody? My name is RuffledRowlit and welcome to my first ever theory video on this channel. Today we're going to take a look at a theory regarding Mimikyu and the possibility of Mimikyu actually being Clefairy. Now yes, this may seem very far-fetched, and I do know that, but this theory was submitted by a viewer, so I thought, why not give the theory a shot and just check out its potential. Now do remember, this is all just for speculation and for fun. It is a theory, of course, so do understand that this may be totally wrong, but also may have a bit of, truth to it. Again, it is a theory, and I do hope you guys understand that. Now, this theory was submitted by WolfmanExe, who came up with a little theory to why Mimikyu, out of all Pokemon, has that big of a hatred of Pikachu. Now, when I first saw this theory, I was a bit skeptical, like how could Mimikyu be Clefairy, but after I did a bit of research, I noticed that there are a lot of similarities between Mimikyu and Clefairy. Now, quickly before I get started with this actual theory, I want to point out one thing. If you guys want to submit your own theories to me to do a bit of more extra research and actually make videos out of them, please submit your theories down in the comments or message me through my email that is down in the description. If you want to send me any theories, you got an idea and you think maybe this could be possible, then always send them to me. I'd love to look more into it and possibly make a video about it. It's up to you guys if you want to do that. It's your choice. If you have anything good you want to tell or any theories you think you want to put out on YouTube there and you want me to take a look at it, then there is a freaking email down there you guys can check out. But either way, let's get now into this actual theory. Now, to get this theory set up, first of all, I need to again mention that it's just a theory, and so that should be enough, to tell you so you understand that this may not be true and take that into consideration. So let's get started with the theory itself. So for those out there who do not know this little side note and this little theory, I'll explain it now. Back in the days of the creation of Pokemon, the first anime season was actually planned to have Clefairy to be the main Pokemon that would join Ash on his journey. Now, this was changed due to the fact that Clefairy was not really very relatable and didn't have a really significant or relatable color, and they wanted to instead run something that was more in line with the core child audience. And at the time, the creators of the show decided to go with Pikachu instead, as they thought that the yellow color fit more to the children's kind of mindset instead of the really light pink color of Clefairy. So that's essentially what they did. They decided to go with Pikachu instead of Clefairy, and this is what people keep talking about a lot and mentioning that, oh, Clefairy used to be or was supposed to be the Pokemon coming along on Ash's journey. Now, how does this play into the theory of Clefairy actually being Mimikyu? Well, let me explain. Now, what this theory suggests is that the creators created Mimikyu to showcase the anger that Clefairy felt for being left out and left alone. Now, this theory actually does have an interesting few points to it, but there are two flaws to it, and I want to point those out later during the video, but for now, let's take a look at the listing of things that would actually point towards this theory being real. Now, the first one is showcasing of the picture of Ash and Pikachu in the Pokemon Sun and Moon game. If you take a look at this picture right here, can you see it? You can't? Okay, well, let me zoom in. There. Do you see it now? What does that look to you all? What does it actually look like? Well, it actually looks like Ash and Pikachu on his shoulder. Now, why would this abandoned spot where the totem Mimikyu resides be the spot where an image of the main protagonist of the anime show of Pokemon is on the wall? It is very strange if you think about it. Why would Ash be on the wall inside of this mall or this area where the Mimikyu actually resides? It makes no sense. Why would the anime be in the Pokemon game? Now, this is the first point, and it aims towards the idea of Clefairy hating Pikachu for becoming Ash's partner and it being left behind. In the hate towards Pikachu, it decides to put on this rag that resembles Pikachu. Now, this may seem a bit far-fetched, but that's not the end and the only point to this theory. There are a lot more points I want to point out. That's one of the points, though, that in anger and in the hate of Pikachu being chosen over Clefairy, Clefairy actually puts on this rag to look like Pikachu. But there is more points, I'm going to get to the next one right now. Now, the next point is a bit more different, and you can kind of take this however you want to, but the next point would be to take a look at the overall design of Mimikyu. Do you notice something on it? Well, let's take a look at the overall body. It doesn't seem apparent at the start, but take a look at the belly area. Do you see it? Well, look at the belly, and do you see those eyes? Yeah, those are Mimikyu's eyes. Now, which other Pokemon has eyes shaped in that specifically exact way? Well, That would be Clefairy. Here is a comparison. If you look at the shape of the eyes, they are shaped in the exact same way, and they look eerily similar. They look very, very similar. Like, you can definitely see there is some sort of resemblance here, and I can definitely believe that this could be a possible thing. But that is not the only point we have here. We have another point on top of this to this actual theory. Now, when you think about it, Mimikyu has the ghost and fairy typing, but if you take a look at Clefairy's typing being normal and fairy type, it actually matches up pretty well, and there is a reason for this. If you've ever heard about the theory about Clefairy being a living Gengar, essentially Clefairy being the living version of Gengar, and then Gengar being Clefairy after death, then you might understand what this might be leading towards. Essentially, Clefairy, or Gengar, is Clefairy's form in death, and that would essentially make Clefairy into, after death, a ghost type. Take a look at it this way. Clefairy, while living, has a hatred for Pikachu, seeing how it was chosen above Clefairy, and so it passes away, and its ghost returns, and with the regrets that it remained with, it decides to make itself look like Pikachu. Now this makes sense, since in the Pokemon universe, ghost Pokemon are revered and are scary even for those who handled them. And even though ghost Pokemon are a thing, essentially, they're still considered a phenomena to trainers and the Pokemon world citizens, and they're essentially a very creepy concept to all the people in the Pokemon universe. So this would explain why the Pokédex entry for Mimikyu states that the villagers, or essentially a villager, died after seeing what was under Mimikyu's rag because of how horrifying it was. It would explain if a Clefairy dies, and this is what the essential theory I'm trying to get to here is. When a Clefairy dies, it takes the regret it had while living, which was not being chosen by a trainer. It takes that regret from death and basically takes it into its death while it's a ghost, and then essentially puts on essentially a rag, which would be based on Pikachu here, because that's the Pokemon that was chosen above it, and it takes on this rag to kind of simulate what it would be to be a Pokemon. It wants to act like it's a Pikachu, so it will be chosen, but essentially it is a ghost, and it's a horrifying ghost, and that's why it scares people, and that's why people are afraid of it. It is a ghost, and that's also why it hates Pikachu so much. It would really, really make sense, and it would explain a lot of these points to why Mimikyu is such a weird Pokemon. Now, overall, like I said, this theory states essentially that Clefairy took on a rag it found outside to hide itself, and there were trainers out there who caught this Pokemon thinking it was a Pikachu, and ended up releasing it when they realized it was not an actual Pikachu, and essentially that's the base for the theory. Now, those are the main points towards this theory being actually real, but then there are a few points that would aim towards this not being possible, and one of those would be the body size of Clefairy that doesn't fit under the rag. And I know that's a very logical fact there. You know, Clefairy is a pretty hefty and pretty round Pokemon, and if you actually look at the bottom of Mimikyu, it is pretty round, but it's very small. Mimikyu is a very small Pokemon. Then again, we've seen that Clefairies can be very small as well, and if you just look at the overall shape, it looks like a round Pokemon at the bottom of Mimikyu's body. If you just take a general look at it, it does look like that, and I do think that is a very interesting point to bring up, as it does add to the theory in general. If you just take an overall look at it, it does look like it could be a Clefairy, but then again, Clefairies might be a bit big to actually fit under that rag. But then again, that is just speculation. We don't really know what size every single Pokemon is, or if it would fit under. Then again, you can always take a look at those sort of things by yourself. If you want to look at the size of each Pokemon, maybe that could give you a bit of a comparison. Now, another thing that I want to point out here is that maybe, you know, something you could add to the theory is the fact that Mimikyu is a very rare Pokemon to find, and also, you know, how would this tie in to every single Mimikyu? Does every single Mimikyu that exists end up being a Pokemon that hates Ash? Well, I don't think so, but I think that the overall, like, you know, basis for this Pokemon, considering how rare it actually is to find, it's got a very low encounter rate, so it does make it slightly rare. Not super rare, but slightly rare, which means there are not many of them, which would make sense. But then again, of course, this could all just be stupid nonsense. This theory could be totally out there, but then again, I do think it's an interesting theory to take a look at, as I feel like it could possibly be real. Then again, this is all just a theory, and I hope you guys understand that. It is just for fun, and those were the main points towards the theory, guys, and I hope you did enjoy this oral theory. And if you did, and you know, agree or disagree with me, then let me know in the comment section down below. Which do you think is real here? Do you think Mimikyu might be a dead Clefairy, or do you think that that is fully out there and too stupid to be real? If you do agree with me, let me know down there. If you don't agree with me, also let me know down there. And also, if you have your own theories, then go right ahead and send them over at this email on the screen right now. I'll be taking any theories you guys cannot come up with. I would love to see what you guys can come up with. It'd be interesting to see what theories you guys have in mind that you would want me to kind of showcase theories and maybe take a bigger look at. But that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, then drop a like down below because it helps out a lot, and also subscribe if you want to see more theory videos as well as top 10s. But that's it for today. I guess all I have to say right now is I'll catch you trainers the next time. Bye bye.